Mark Goldbridge live stream channel. We've got a Champions League watch along for you tonight, so I hope you're all very excited about that. Tottenham entertain Barcelona, Lionel Messi, and Liverpool visit Napoli, or Naples as it is known in Italy. Big night, big night. I think it's going to be better than last night, especially if you're in relation to Manchester United's draw against Valencia. I think we're definitely going to see some goals tonight, and looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. How are we all doing? How are we all doing? We're not at Old Trafford, no. I suspect I may have gone live on another stream by accident, but we are live now anyway. I thought Mark was about to play FIFA against us, Najib Khan. Yes, I messed up with that. I messed up with that. Spurs are going to get ripped a new one by Messi, says Charles Manson. And we've got a Juventus fan, which is Juvento Blancaneri. Well, I like Juventus. I like Juventus. I can't lie. I'm not going to lie to you. Voulez-vous. That's French, but I do like Italian. Bellissimo and Pizarro. I like Italian, and Juventus are my favourite Italian team. But I haven't got a bet on tonight, Geordie C, because I got 2 wrong last night. That killed my bet. My bet was Liverpool to win, Barcelona to win, City to win, which I think will all happen. But United not winning and Real Madrid losing in Moscow really did me over. It's Rex Slim's birthday, so welcome to him. French, I thought it was a NABBA song, says Tyler. Maybe it is. Dharma says Goldbridge out. Well, you know where the door is, mate. You get out. Not drunk. No, Moaz, it's just me. I'm not drunk. I haven't had a drink in about a week, actually. I'm trying to give it up. And Costa will rip a new one in United's defence, says Juventino. To be honest with you, mate, I wouldn't go as far as Costa. I mean, have you got some reserve right back? Because he'll probably rip us apart at the moment. Good to see that you Jose out, says Anton Griezmann. Well, I don't think it's good to be Jose Mourinho out, but I think it's just the way of the world. I think it's. I don't feel guilty about it anymore. I think the board should feel guilty about what they're inflicting on Manchester United. But let me go through all 2 fixtures, 4 teams. Let me give you the lineups. So Tottenham they've got a lot of injury problems. Tottenham, they've got Lloris, Trippier, Alderweireld, Sanchez, Ben Davis, which isn't a bad back 4. Harry Winks, Wanyama, Lucas Moura, Lamela, Son and Kane. I mean, that in some ways that is quite strong, because Son's very good, Lucas Moura is very good, Wanyama can get about a bit. So, and it's quite an attacking team from Spurs, that is, because you've got Moura, Lamela, Son and Kane. But the problems for Spurs develop when you look at their bench. Danny Rose, Eric Dyer, Walker Peters, Sissoko, Llorente, Gazzaniga and Skip. I mean, I haven't even heard of Skip. Where's he from? Is he a skip? Maybe he's just a skip. But I don't know. Their bench is not particularly strong. You look at Barcelona, you've got Ter Stegen, Samadu, Piqué, Longley. Longley's a player to watch out for. I really liked him, Clement Longley. I was hoping United were going to get hold of him, but it didn't quite happen. They brought him in from Sevilla. Alba at left back. They've got Busquets, Rakitic, Messi, Suarez and Coutinho, and on their bench Dembele, Rafinha, Silasson, Vidal from Ireland. So very, very strong bench for them. But you know what, I'm rooting for Spurs. Spurs, of course I am. I mean, well, I say of course I am. I don't normally support the English club, but it'd be fantastic if they could get a result against Barcelona tonight. And it's not very often we get to see Barcelona playing against the Premier League side. So, you know, I'm interested to see and gauge just how far we are behind or ahead of those teams. Neymar's just scored a cracking free kick to make it 6-1. PSG are beating Red Star Belgrade 6-1. They're just too good for them. But Liverpool were too good for PSG. Liverpool's team, talking of which, Alisson in goal, Alexander-Arnold, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson. Very, very structured and consistent back 5 selection from Jurgen Klopp now. As I said a few weeks ago, there's a lot of what he's doing that makes a lot of sense in relation to building a very successful team. It was a wondrous free kick by Neymar. I've just got to say that. Absolutely unstoppable free kick. There's no keeper in the world is going to save that. Absolutely brilliant free kick. Midfield 3 of Milner, Wijnaldum and Keita. No place for Jordan Henderson. And then the normal 3 of Salah, Firmino and Mane. Relation to Napoli, Ospina, Makisimovic, Albiol, Koulibaly, Rui, Lorera, Hamsik, Ruiz, Callejon, Milk and Insigne. No Dries Mertens. He's on the bench. I think that's going to be a straightforward win for Liverpool. I really do. I think Liverpool are going to breeze through this group quite comfortably. So my eyes are probably going to be more on Spurs against Barcelona, because Spurs being the home team, I hopefully think we'll see a good game. Barcelona are beatable tonight. They are beatable tonight. Najib Khan is right, though. Neymar is scoring against pub teams. Barcelona are going to crush Tottenham, says Nabil. Mark, you been on the lager? No, Stephen, I haven't. I don't know why people assume I've been on the drink. No, I haven't. I've been on the chocolate cake and spaghetti bolognese. That's what I have been on, but I've not been on any lagers. Can't stand Liverpool. That's not my words. It's Najib Khan's, although I would echo it in a way. What else have we got? Is Colin Calderwood playing, says Draughty. Saul Campbell, yeah, they could all be coming out. Darren Anderton as well. I did notice that, though, in all seriousness. When Spurs came to play United back in August and beat us 3-0, I looked at their bench and thought it's terrible compared to our bench. Spurs really don't have a lot of squad depth, but they're doing what Levy wants them to do, which is spending a lot of money. Oh, God, they're terrible, Red Star Belgrade. Is that 7 or is he offside? He's offside. They don't have great squad depth at all. Juventino, I respect Juventus a lot. Sort of my second team. United's my one and only, but if I had a second team, it would be Juventus, says Manchester Skulls 18. I mean, that's interesting. Let's do that point there. Who would be your second team beyond the club that you support? Get in the live comments, because we've got a few minutes till kick-off of both of these games, now that they become 8 o'clock games. So let us know what you think. And interesting comment from a Barcelona fan here. I can't read his name because it just takes ages. I'm going to just do it based on the letters. Zioxamon says, Barcelona have got a bad coach. He's a beta version of Mourinho. And that's from a Barcelona fan. And do you think if Zidane comes in relation... Well, a little bit of breaking news for anybody who's interested in relation to Manchester United. ESPN are reporting that Manchester United board, the Glazers, have confidence in Jose Mourinho turning it around. I wouldn't get too irritated by that because unless it's got a pound or dollar sign next to it, the Glazers wouldn't know their arse from their elbow when it comes to football. I guarantee they didn't even know who Manchester United are and what football is until they bought Manchester United as a money-making exercise. They've got no idea. And I don't think Ed Woodward's got any idea about football either. So this is what happens when you allow businessmen to run a football club. They have got no idea. They totally and utterly appoint people and expect it to work out, and they haven't got a bloody clue. So I don't think there's any chance of that. Tabu Allen says, "Baby shark, baby shark." I've sang that before, haven't I? Obviously. My second team would be, please may I have my spanner, says George Kyle. George, I've got no way of knowing if you're the real George Kyle, so I can't do it, unfortunately, while I'm live. Where's the Jazz Hands? The Jazz Hands could come out tonight. Anybody know what the Jazz Hands is all about? Manchester University Student Union saying that they don't want to do clapping or whoops anymore. They're going to do Jazz Hands to celebrate things. I mean, this is the world we live in now. This is the world we live in, and these are the dreams that we dream. Jazz Hands to celebrate. I mean, can you imagine that? PSG scoring a goal. Yay! To be honest, it would be more of an atmosphere at City anyway, wouldn't it? I don't know why I had to bring Man City into it. PSG have absolutely annihilated Red Star Belgrade. I wonder, I think Liverpool might end up racking up a cricket score against these, to be honest. Thoughts on Wenger getting linked to the Barca job? Marks is Charles Manson. I don't know, have Barcelona not started off that well? I don't know. Aaron Cleesby, I wouldn't take Nabil Fekir at Manchester United, no. I wouldn't. I don't think he's what Manchester United needs at all. Kieran Burns says that Mark's got it in for college students anyway. Why would I have it in? That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not one of them people who says students are lazy and they don't get up until they hear the theme tune to Jeremy Kyle. The end credits, should I say, which is about 11 o'clock. And no, I'm not one of those people. Evening, Mark and everyone, says Glass Moon. It sounded like Old Trafford was doing jazz hands last night, says Jay Coulters. Zed Jamie says he'd support Manchester United women as his second team. Just support Liverpool, Mark. United are terrible, says Abdi Ali. Yeah, I don't know whether the modern football fan actually does do that. They give up on their club if they're crap for a couple of years. But I'm sure some people do, but not for me. Never in a million years. Anurag, thanks for your comment. You'll never be making another one. Anurag, hope you're still watching. I can do that too. I've got hands, yes. I can actually do it without saying it. It's all right. I'm enjoying this tonight because I'm actually logged onto my account, so I can just get rid of twats. Give up on your club, says Luke Gardner. That's not how it works. That's not how it works, is it? You know, some people go and watch their club like Rochdale week in, week out. They're never going to be good. That's the life they've chosen. That's the club they've supported. I respect that. Tom Sykes says, I'm a Leicester fan, but a big fan of the content. Look, everybody's welcome on my channel and on my Twitter account. I don't always just talk about United. I'm more than happy to talk about other stuff. And this is the sort of thing that, you know, I like doing because, you know, United aren't playing tonight, but I would sit and watch one of these two games. And it's good to be able to spend it with you lot. Do you have any plans to play FIFA Ultimate Team, Mark, says Daniel Harvey? Yes, I do. I do. I'm just going to get through the first season of my career mode, which is going very fast. I'll have another episode tomorrow. I'm nearly already in March, and then I'm going to give Ultimate Team a go. Because I think with Ultimate Team, I'd like to do it online. So I'm using the career mode as a sort of a way to, you know, sharpen up my gameplay. Then I'm going to play a few online games against people, and then we'll give it a whirl. We'll give it a whirl collectively. Talk politics. The only politics you're going to get out of me is Theresa May's dancing onto the stage to Dancing Queen today. What was that all about? What was that all about? Who am I supporting today, says Ravi. I'm going to be going with Spurs. Yes, I will support Spurs today. Not in the way that I'd melt down if they lost, because I don't really care that much, but Spurs will have my support. Prawn cocktail for me, Stephen O'Shea, over salt and vinegar. Mark, it hurts when we watch our team play dreadful football. Well, I think that's generally for everybody, Pankaj, isn't it? That's why football's such a great sport, because the elation when things are going well is fantastic, and you feel it when it's going bad as well. That is how it goes. Apparently FIFA's going to have a huge update patch, says the Londoner. Give us more detail. Give us some more detail. Andy Stewart says that FIFA is very frustrating. I had a very good stream today, if people haven't seen it. I think I've had some very bad streams with it. But I got on with it quite well today. A lot of it's to do with the quality of the players. You know, it's not rocket science, is it? Still play F1, Mark, says Leo Miller. I did do a few F1 watch-alongs on here, and I really would like to have the time to do it, and I'd love to play a bit more of it, but there's only so many hours in the day, so never say never, but at the moment, timing's very, very difficult. What do we think of Cardiff City, says Daniel Burnett. I really hope you're not a fan of Cardiff, Daniel, because I'm really going to go in on them and say that they're going to get relegated. They are probably one of two of the worst clubs in the league at the moment, with Manchester United. Abury's a good group. They are. What jacket potato or roast potatoes? Definitely a roast for me. And what stadium is this in the background? Well, if anybody knows, I will tell them if they are right. I know what it is because I know where the picture's from. Put the darts on, fella, says Tyler. You know what? I had a very, very funny thing here. I'm just going to do a little quick survey on this and see what people think. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right-hand corner. I must remember all that jazz. Jazz hands. But somebody messaged me today, and I like the concept. I just don't know how popular it would be because I like film. And somebody was saying, why don't you do it once a month, a film night watch-along, where you let everybody know in advance what film you're going to watch. Obviously, it's got to be a film that we've probably all seen before, because you wouldn't want me to, watch it and then you just sat here. You've got to talk about it a little bit. A film watch-along, so let people, if people are only interested in that, then let me know. Vishal says Napoli are going to win 5-0. I'd be very, very surprised if Napoli were to win tonight. I think Liverpool will win. I think Liverpool... I'm more confident of Liverpool winning than I am of Barcelona beating Spurs, to be honest with you. I think Spurs might get something tonight. They did it last season against Real Madrid, didn't they? People are writing them off, and they did very well. Steve Bruce has been sacked as Aston Villa manager. I live in the Midlands. I know a lot of Aston Villa fans, and I think it's very mixed. I think with United fans at the moment, if Mourinho was sacked, a lot of people would be very, very happy. I think Aston Villa fans are worried. They're like, well, they expected Steve Bruce to get them promoted. They've not been in the Premier League for, 2 years now, and there is that concern about when they're going to get back. But who will they go for next? They were very, very close to getting Thierry Henry in the summer. Will they go back in for him? Do I like Ireland? Says Daniel Wright. I lived there, mate. I lived there for over 3 years. I love it. I love Ireland. I haven't been back for a while. Oh, yeah, Halloween. Yeah, I must admit that my worst film genre is horror. I don't like horror. I don't get horror. I don't like horror. Jaws, Jaws isn't really a horror, is it? But the reason I dislike Jaws, and will only go in the sea up to my waist, and never the deepest, is I have a massive, massive fear of sharks. Because I say my uncle, but like my uncle's a lot younger than my mum, so he's only about 8 years older than me. So when I was about 3 or 4, he had all his mates round, and I was round at my grand's, and they closed the door and forced me to watch Jaws at the age of 3. So that was quite traumatic, and I've always had a problem with the music, sharks and water ever since. Quite a big fear. I think Villa should have kept Bruce, says Andy Stewart. Well, they were 12th in the league, and they did draw 3-3 with bottom of the league. We have enough horror at United. No need to get extra 3 film time, says Manchester Skulls 18. Very good point. I like the Alien films, Tale 7. I do like those. Prestige is very good, Josh. I liked that as well. Tam Trainer hates swimming in the sea. And I would love to see you do horror game playthroughs, says that guy named Ben. I haven't got my glasses on. I thought it said that gay named Ben. I was going to say he's very, very open about his sexuality, but it's not. It's that guy named Ben. Apologies, Ben, who may or may not be gay. And if he is, so what? A Quiet Place is very good, says Peter B. Captain America. Aston Villa could go for Stam, James. They could. I mean, obviously, from a Manchester United point, Alex Swanseaby's on loan there, so I don't know how that works out. Got an Arsenal fan asking for his thoughts. We've still got 10 minutes till kick-off. Please do share the video. Underneath, you'll see a share button. Click the share button. You can tweet it. You can put it out on Facebook. Please do that. First watch along on here, but the channel's not been going that long, and I'm really enjoying it. Having my own channel is quite a novel thing. I've never done it before. So all the FIFA streams, the little reactions I can do, the watch alongs, it's great. I'm really enjoying it. So subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner, and please do share it, get involved, drop a like, and be interactive. Everybody's welcome. I will answer the question on Arsenal. I said at the start of the season that if Emery gets Arsenal 4th place, he deserves Manager of the Year, because I think Arsenal's squad is the 6th best in the Premier League, and I can't see how they'll get top 4. And I still stand by that, because I think Liverpool, Chelsea, City are guaranteed top 4. Spurs are potentially the weak spot. We'll see tonight. But if Arsenal were to get top 4, I think that would be fantastic. And I don't say that in a negative way about Arsenal. I like bantering Arsenal and DT and people like that. But I think if you got 5th place and got a bit of stability this year, had a good cup run, maybe won an FA Cup, then that would be a good season for you. I don't think you're going to be in the Champions League next year. At the moment, I don't think United are going to be in the Champions League next year, so don't take it too much. But I don't see Arsenal being in the Champions League next year, but I don't think that should be considered a bad season. I think what Emery's taking over in so many ways, I don't think that squad's that good. He's taken over from a manager that's built the club. It's a very, very difficult job, and I think if he got 5th place, good cup run, stability, and was allowed to build on that in the summer, I think that would be very good for Arsenal, and that's totally and utterly my opinion without winding anybody up. Must be so tough being a Manchester United fan. Try being a Chesterfield fan, says Gods Among Us. Look, I was speaking on this United stand this lunchtime, and I said exactly that same thing a few minutes into the video. I said that we are a massive club who's had massive success, and you've got to take the rough with the smooth. Look at Liverpool; they haven't won a title in nearly 30 years. Arsenal over 10 years. So, you know, I think as most United fans I speak to aren't crying because we're not winning. Of course, you always want to win, but you have to accept that you can't win all the time. But what I did say is that when you look at Barcelona or you look at Real Madrid within their league, or Bayern Munich in their league, or Juventus in their league, that's what Manchester United are to the Premier League. So Manchester United should not be going 6 years without even challenging for a title. That means there's something wrong with the way the club's being run. Because United are so big, they should always be challenging for a title. They're one of the biggest clubs in the world. So Barcelona wouldn't go 6 years playing around with 5th and 6th. That's not what they would do. And United shouldn't be doing that. And I think that's why United fans are irritated. I can't demand as a United fan that we win the Premier League every year. That's just unrealistic. But I think I can demand as a United fan that we are at least challenging for titles each year, because that's what we should do based on the size of the club we are. And we're nowhere near that. And that's because the club's being run badly. So that's where I sympathise with myself and other United fans, is that the club is a mess and it's being run like a mess. If it was run properly and we weren't winning titles because we just weren't winning it, I think I'd have to accept that. Have I ever been to Crow Park, says Chinku. Oh, there's always a question in there that absolutely buries you. So Kean Quinn says, have you ever been to Crow Park? The honest answer is once, and the honest answer is to watch Take That. So there you go. Thoughts on Danny Dyer's Deadliest Men? Never watched it. Hey Mark, when we do a collab with DT, you said that you're close with him. I wouldn't say we're close, Rashid. I wouldn't say we're close. I'd say we are always likely to say something. I was trying to wind him up today, wouldn't bite. He tries to wind me up. I don't really know that there's much of a appetite to do a show together, and that's not because we don't like each other. I just think he does his thing, I do my thing, and there's so much things for us to do that need to sit down together isn't there. But we are playing against each other in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, so there will be some content from that. Film watch along, some people are on about that, so we'll keep an eye on for that, maybe for Halloween. I think that's a very good idea. I don't know whether I'd do one a month, but I wouldn't mind doing a Halloween watch along. I think that would be a lot of fun. Dress as the tree for Halloween, says Woggers. I have still got the wig somewhere. Tyler says, always knew you loved Gary Barlow. I've told people before, I'm unorthodox. I love Oasis. I like Take That. You know, I love 80s music. I like the Foo Fighters. You know, the only thing as I said on my FIFA stream, I don't like dance and I don't like hip hop. But that doesn't mean there might be one song in there that I like. I like Rhythm is a Dancer. You know, can't box me off. I haven't been to the Aviva Stadium, Manny. I went to Lansdowne Road a few times. I went to Lansdowne Road to watch Oasis. So there you go. Crow Park to see Take That. Lansdowne Road to see Oasis. That's me. Do I watch MMA? No. I have to be very selective of the things that I watch, and I'm sure a lot of you are the same. You haven't got a lot of, infinite time. I like boxing. I like Formula 1. Obviously, I love football. What am I doing tonight? Watching football when there's, United aren't playing. So I love all that. Okay, I'm going to keep talking to you, but for some reason, idiot me has I've stuck the wrong bloody channel on. So I'm sat here preparing to watch the Goal Show, which is not what I want to do. I thought I'd put it on the right channel. So I will just change it. Let's get it on. There we go. There's one down. Got one up. Oh. Coming back to you now, walking around the table. Don't need that. Don't need that. There we go. To be honest, that concert I went to watch Oasis at Lansdowne Road was one of the worst. Liam was crap, absolutely terrible that night. When was I last in Drogheda? Oh God, a while ago, probably over 10 years ago. Nirvana or Oasis? There's no one beats Oasis. No one beats Oasis. Jack says Oasis or Stone Roses. I really do like the Stone Roses, but the volume of Oasis songs, I don't think anybody comes close. Closest thing would probably be ABBA for back catalogue. Football Manager is the best, says Slick Slack. Might give that a go. Where do you get your Harry Potter cloak from, says Chris Potters. I'll tell you what, I do like Harry Potter. We're moving off topic here because the players are about to come out for both games now. But I do like Harry Potter. In fact, what I always do as a tradition is I start the Harry Potter box set around the middle of October and watch the films on the run up to Christmas. So there you go. That's a little tradition. Walrus Productions, go on the True Geordie podcast. You've got to be asked to do that, mate. I can't just appear. I've had a couple of invites over the last few weeks for podcasts. One in America. Brian Gittins, who was on Derek with Ricky Gervais, he's asked me to go and do one, which I'd love to go and do that. So it's great to get those opportunities, and I'm very humble about that. I always say it's 100% down to people like myself. It's down to me that I'm getting these opportunities. I'm really not one of those people who think that it's to do anything to do with you lot. I know some people think, oh, thank you viewers and everything like that, but not me. It's because of my talent, isn't it? That's why I'm getting these opportunities. So long may it continue. It's been a long time coming. I'm winding you up. I'm winding you up. Obviously, it's because of you lot that we do get those opportunities, and I always feel that anything that I get or the United Stand gets is a collective thing. That's why I always share it and let everybody know about it. So yeah, hopefully, I'm open to doing anything. Always have done. I'm not the one who closed the doors on opportunities when we've been trying to build the United Stand and Mark Goldbridge channel. The door was always open. It was others who shut it, and now the door is opening. I will do a video on my setup, Reese. A lot of people have asked me to do that. I will do that. I just need to tidy it up a little bit because, yeah. There probably will be a 24-hour stream as well. We did a 24-hour stream last November time. One of my best mates died of cancer a couple of years ago. And we raised about $8,000 in 24 hours. It was amazing. So I would love to do that again. Obviously, I've got my anti-ditch the label band on that you can get if you go and have a look on my Twitter feed. It's a partnership with Ditch the Label and Lynx. £15, you can get that and a limited edition Lynx deodorant and shower gel. The deodorant's lovely. I don't know what it is. It's not Africa, but it's really nice. So, yeah, but I don't know whether I'd do a 24-hour stream for bullying. I think 24-hour stream for cancer is obviously fantastic. So a few people have said about Alzheimer's, mental health, things like that. But I normally do a 24-hour stream in November. It's an absolute killer. But that's the whole point. It's got to be something that's interactive and hard. YouPorn, interactive and hard. There you go. That'll only take me about 30 seconds. So that's better. But yeah. I'll do an interactive hard thing on YouPorn for 30 seconds and you can all sponsor me. Mad Marcus is in the house, which is good. Do as a rap. I don't know any raps. Anyway, who are we going for tonight? Liverpool, Napoli, and I've got Barcelona versus Spurs. So I'm keeping an eye on both games, and you can obviously keep me updated as well. We're a minute away from kickoff for both. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you're new. This is the Mark Goldbridge channel, bottom right-hand corner. You got all your FIFA streams. We're going to do watch-alongs on here. Really interested to see what Suarez does tonight because I think his career has gone off the boil a bit. But that and Coutinho as well. But that's one of the players that I absolutely hate in football the most. Cannot stand Luis Suarez. Just cannot. I've said before that most top players like Neymar, I don't really like Neymar, but I'd still take him at United. But Suarez, I'd rather eat glass and then shit it out. I would not want Luis Suarez at my club in a million years. And that's it. 20 minutes. Kick off, we're on. Here we go. And well done to Matty McKenna for getting the stadium behind me. It is the Kaliningrad Stadium. It's an image I had from the World Cup that I really liked. And I thought it worked well for an October evening Champions League game. So, yes, we're just kicking off here. Barcelona against Spurs is off. Napoli against Liverpool is off. They've not been called off. They've kicked off. Why does the pitch look so bad? Says Stewart. Yeah, Wembley looks terrible around the middle. I presume they've probably had a bloody rock concert or something, haven't they? But I hope Spurs can get something out of this. Oliver Reed says Mourinho in or out? 100% out now. So many people, so many United fans were like me for a long, long time. I'll never be Mourinho out. I'm always going to back him. And I never thought I'd be Mourinho out. Never thought I would. I really thought he would get it right. But you can't live in denial. And he's just embarrassed our club. Even what he said last night that I didn't realise. Here we go. They're in. They're in. This could be 1-0. And it is 1-0 to Barcelona. Shocking defending by Spurs. The keeper comes running out. Rapid start, says Andy Stewart. Lloris looks like he's pissed. Do a breath test. He's already been done for that once this season. But what is Lloris doing? It's carnival time for Barcelona as Coutinho puts them 1-0 ahead. But snakes are Stuart Collins. We're waiting to see this goal back. It's a very unlike Barcelona goal, really. Messi sort of has a massive part in it. Long ball from Messi, onside towards Alba. Lloris comes out. Oh, it's Lloris's fault. What is Lloris doing here? It's out to the left-hand side, and Lloris comes charging out of his box. Out of the play, and the finish by Coutinho is brilliant, but the cut back to Coutinho on the edge of the box, very central, blasts it home through loads of Spurs players. But what is Lloris doing? What is Lloris doing there? Absolute rubbish. There we go, 1-0. Well, Barcelona may be a very good team, but they've been gifted a goal there by Lloris. Absolutely rubbish. I am 11 and I like Frank Sinatra, says Michael Holdaway. You're allowed on YouTube when you're 11. Well, I presume no one's going to stop you, kids today. If Barcelona sack me, I'm available for Manchester United, says Ernesto Valverde. And how many early goals does this Champions League have, says Disease Gaming. I actually don't know the answer. I don't know whether that's sarcasm or there has been a lot of early goals. Do I have tickets for Take That at Ashton Gate, says Walrus Productions. No, you're going to give me one. And Nikki S says, do you play FIFA online? I haven't started yet. I'm going to start. In fact, if there'd been no Champions League tonight, I would have played some tonight. I think during the international break, which is dead for football, I'll probably be getting online then. So I'm looking forward to getting online. I'm looking forward to beating some of you biatches because I will. It's as simple as that. Stuart Collins hates Liverpool, hates Barcelona because they take all their good players. South London, Millwall since 1986, says Millwall FC 1885. Yeah, let us know in the live comments who everybody supports. Let us know. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Mark Goldbridge channel. We're going to be doing watch-alongs on here. I do all my FIFA streams on here. I do all sorts on here. We do all sorts, don't we? Yeah, we do. We do all sorts. Okay, have you been to O'Connell Street, Dublin? Says Manny M Dog 28. Mate, I used to virtually live there. That's where I used to get off the bus. I'd pop into the old post office in O'Connell Street. Very historic building. That was where I used to go and post all my letters home at Christmas time. I'd be popping to O'Connell Street from Henry Street. jump over the Liffey, not literally, you can't, over the bridge, the Halfpenny Bridge, cut through Temple Bar, and find my way up to the back of Grafton Street to St Stephen's Green, and that's where I used to work along there. Merrion Row, that's where I used to do. See, I've just given you a load of knowledge about something you probably already know. Murphy FC supports York City. Got York City fans. That's football will continue, Jack Brown. It's just at the moment, it's just since the World Cup, it's all gone up in the air. And obviously I'm doing a lot of stuff on my channel, and I want the watch-alongs to continue, but I can't do it on That's Football. You can't have a channel that's putting content up once every 2 weeks. So I've just said, look, with That's Football at the moment, the watch-alongs, let's chuck them onto my channel because it's got daily content anyway, and it just makes sense. But That's Football will be back. Have you ever been given a bollocking at work? I thought you said, have you ever had a bumming at work? No, I haven't. And if you have, report it if it's illegal. Yeah, I think everyone's been told off at work, haven't they? Jack, I lived in Dublin for 3 years. Absolutely love it. I love London. I didn't live there. I've been to London a lot, but I love London. I love Dublin. I would always advise wherever you are in the world to go and live in a capital city, especially if you can do it around your early 20s. You'll have the time of your life, as they sang on Dirty Dancing, which wasn't in a capital city, so there's no relevance. But yeah, it's good. Meteorite supports Cheltenham Town. Calamity Jones wants to be unblocked on That's Football. Absolutely irrelevant, mate. There's no content on there at the moment. There's no stream on there at the moment. Don't worry about it. Have you listened to the Happy Mondays, says Jack. Yes. Twisting my melons, man. Spurs on the attack here at the moment. Lloris is an idiot. Let's just say that's the official line of the moment. Ex-Dapted Serenity supports Lincoln City, and am I a McGregor fan, says Bradley Tucker. I'm not really into that. I'm not really into that enough to be a fan of anybody's, really. Oh, Aaron Gawley says, in Dublin we drink a lot. Oh, yeah. They drink. Red Devils, no, I'm not. And never forget where you're coming from. Take that. Just in relation to people asking me about favourite bands and who's better, nobody's better than Oasis. I hate to say that because obviously they support Man City, but nobody's better than Oasis. Never been to Cork, Max. No, I've never been to Cork. Been to Waterford, been to Galway, been to Belfast, but never been to Cork. And of course, Belfast isn't even in. Well, you'd like it to be an island, wouldn't you? But it's not. It's Northern Ireland. So, do you like Andy Tate? Says Hamza Effa. Never met him. Harry Kane goal incoming, says Disease Gaming. Well, Spurs are on the attack at the moment, and it is Harry Kane in a very wide position. But Barcelona are going to get it away. Get it away. Get it away. Get it away now. Get it away, get it away, get it away now. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Who's that? Give it away, give it away, give it away. I should know that. They're quite a popular band, aren't they? Is it Red Hot Chili Peppers? Neymar or Hazard? Neymar. I was very close. I was very close. I'm going to have to do a watch-along with Hazard in it, just for the banter. I'm not a massive Messi fan. But I wouldn't be stupid to say he's overrated. He's one of the two best players on the planet. Ever been at St Andrews, Rory Neal? What, the golf place or the cricket club? Or the football ground? I've driven past St Andrews, the football ground, more times than I can remember. And I think I've been in the car park a few times. No, I have been there. I've just not been there on match day. I have been there. Yeah, I have been there. Yeah, definitely. Still 0-0 in Liverpool versus Napoli. But I think they'll win. I do think they'll win. That was my prediction. Ever been? It's funny actually because Manny says, "Have you ever been to Old Trafford?" And I do wonder whether actually people do it to try and, well, it wouldn't wind me up anyway. But I don't know whether people just say it because they're thick or because they actually just don't know who I am. But somebody was doing it on Twitter the other day, and I was there 2 weeks ago. I did a fan cam there 2 weeks ago, so you know. Danny Welbeck to Everton, Mark, says Carl Brimage. Thoughts on that Webby acting big online but said nothing when you went to Old Trafford, says Daniel Tam. I spoke to him last week. I've got no issues with him at all. None at all. I think it was a bit of like he didn't want to speak to me because he didn't know whether I had an issue with him. And I don't, so it's all sorted. Never been to Australia, Eric Build. At the moment, it's a bit nip and tuck this game, 10 minutes in. Spurs are giving as good as they can, and Barcelona are looking to hit them on the break. But it's whether Spurs have got that quality to break Barcelona down, which sounds a bit ridiculous because Barcelona are not a defensive side. But going 1-0 down like that, Lloris has really hurt them with that. But a few players out for Spurs. No Moussa Dembele, no Dele Alli, no Vertonghen. So there are a few players out. Ricky Grimshaw says, is Pogba the reason why United are struggling? 100% no. United are struggling because Mourinho's a crap manager. It's as simple as that. He's past it. He's finished. I wouldn't want wherever Mourinho goes after United. And we might have an AC Milan fan in the live comments. We might have a Portugal fan in the live comments. I wouldn't want Mourinho at my club. Moura's on the attack here. Ooh, PK cuts out the cutback. Mourinho might have his time again if football becomes very defensive again. But the football's not like that at the moment. Football's going through this, what I think is a golden age of attacking football being the thing that you need to do to win titles. And that's just totally against Jose Mourinho. So he's a finished manager at the top level at the moment because football's not like what it was when he was successful. Lee Matthews says, I'm truly sorry, but after a long deliberation, that Oasis comment has confirmed my suspicion. You are and because you're not from Manchester like many wannabe Mancs, you just don't get it. I'm not a wannabe Manc, mate. I support Manchester United. I don't want to be a Manc. I don't want to be from Manchester. I'm very happy where I'm from, actually. I'm very happy with my upbringing. I support Manchester United for my own reason. I would say 95% of Manchester United's millions of fans aren't from Manchester. And I'd say 95% of them don't want to be from Manchester either. It's nothing against Manchester. I'm not a Manc. I don't want to be from Manchester. I support Manchester United. And in my opinion, Oasis are a brilliant band. Granted, I totally understand why people from Manchester might not think that. But the world's diverse, mate. And people need to get with it because that's the facts. The world is not about barriers and defining people and saying you can do this and you can't do that. The world is wide open and people make their own choices. So you don't need to apologise about that. And I really couldn't give a shit either what you think about me liking Oasis or not. Thoughts on the Fury versus Wilder fight? I'm intrigued by it, I am Jonesy. Just a few seconds about boxing. I think Tyson Fury's mentality is amazing. I think his boxing talent is very, very clumsy, unorthodox, but has worked. But the thing I would always say about Tyson Fury is mentally he is very, very hard to beat because he's one of them people that you've almost got to, well, you've got to knock him out to beat him. He ain't going to give up. He's never going to give up. I mean, people come out with the cliche, you're going to have to kill me to beat me. I don't think that's true because no one wants to die. But I think, he has got such a strong mentality. Well, Wilder's going to have to absolutely knock him out. And maybe he will. I think a lot of people want to see Wilder against Joshua. But the Fury fight's going to be interesting. Irish Gamer says I should try to improve my FIFA skills. I'm doing that. I had a good stream today. If you didn't see my FIFA stream today, I had a good stream. The Hamilton is running away with F1 Pratic. I thought the start to the F1 season looked really exciting. But he's run away with it. It's not as exciting as I thought it was going to be. You want it to be close. I want it to be close. I want Hamilton to win, but I wanted it to be close. I'm not a big fan of Wonderwall, Louise, as an Oasis song. It's probably one of my least favourite Oasis songs, Wonderwall. Maybe it's because it's so commercially liked. Proper hardcore fans of bands don't like we don't like the commercially successful songs. It's not for the real fans, that. But no, I don't know what it is. I just don't like Wonderwall that much. Slide Away. That's banging. And a goal kick there for Spurs. Favourite Lionel Richie track. I think everyone knows what it is. Abby Freeman says you have to be born in and bred in Manchester to be a real fan. Yeah, whatever. That's why your best 5 players ever aren't from Manchester. Simran says, I love you, Coutinho. I thought the finish from Coutinho was brilliant. Lloris comes charging out into an area he never should be. The cutback comes to Coutinho, and although Lloris isn't in the goal, there's still 3 Spurs players in the way, and he absolutely blasts it just inside the post. It's a lovely finish. Marvel or DC, says Tilly Bobs. They're not for me. They're not for me. I like Star Wars. I like Batman, but Marvel or DC... I wouldn't even really know what's what. A lot of people have told me to start watching Marvel though. What do I think about the Liverpool game tonight, says Henry Bob? Well, from what I've seen of the Liverpool game, because I've got this one and I've got another one here. This is Spurs, this is Liverpool. I think Liverpool are going to win. I always thought, I very nearly did do Liverpool versus Napoli, which for me is quite a big thing to do because as a United fan, I've got no love for Liverpool, although I will, as a football fan, say that they are a very good team at the moment, and especially that back four he's built. I like the width he's got, but I just can't stand Liverpool. But I would have watched them tonight if it wasn't Barcelona Spurs. I would have watched it. But I think Liverpool will win, and from what I've seen of that game, Liverpool are well in control. I've always said this. I was doing the watch-alongs last year on That's Football, and I said this, and I'll say it again. I watch a lot of Italian football, and the reality is that what Juventus have done in the transfer window is brilliant, and there's a lot of other clubs in Italy that are trying to follow suit. They're trying to get Serie A back to what it was like when I was a kid, when around just after the Italia 90, where you used to have Italian football on Channel 4, and that was the best league in the world. And then they had all the problems with corruption and all the fines, and they became arguably the fourth best league in the world behind Germany, Spain and England. And they want to get it back. They want to be the best again. But I've never lost contact with Italian football. I've always watched it. And Italian football's always been slow. The problem with that is that that football at the moment is very, very quick. And we saw it last year. Arsenal beat AC Milan. City annihilated Napoli. Every time a Premier League club played an Italian league club, they won. Apart from Juventus did Spurs. But Juventus did Spurs because Spurs were tactically naive. So I'm not even convinced that Manchester United might not get something out of Juventus. I mean, it's a big ask, but I still think that the Serie A is playing catch-up with La Liga and the Premier League. And that is why I think Liverpool will win in Napoli tonight without much of a problem. Spurs are poor, says Anthony. That Napoli ground is dangerous, Chewy. He says it's empty. It's very, very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous, that ground. In the modern game, you shouldn't have that. It is a much more interesting game than United, but, I wouldn't stop watching United, will I? Kate has been stretchered off, says KB0161MCFC. I am doing a watch along for City versus Liverpool on Sunday, yes. I'm looking forward. Well, the reality is I will be watching it, so why not do a watch along? If people want to join me for it, you're more than welcome. But yeah, I'll be watching the game, so I'll definitely do a watch along for it. Navigator's gone off injured. Yes, I wasn't really watching too much about it, but Henderson's come on. Looks like a right groin injury for Keita. It wouldn't be the end of the world for Liverpool because they've got Henderson and Wijnaldum and Milner who've been very, very successful. Busquets has got a cut on his knee. But you know what? This is part of winning the title. Liverpool fans, it'll be all new for them. You're going to have to get by with suspensions. You're going to have to get by with injuries, and I think that's why what Liverpool did over the summer was build a squad. You look at his bench now. He's got Sturridge, Shaqiri, Henderson, Matip. They've got a really strong bench, which Liverpool never had. You look at Spurs. Spurs' first 11's good. You look at their bench, it's not very good, and that's how you be successful over a season. You've got to have a squad. It's all right having a very good 11. You've got to have a squad as well. We've got a break up in play here as well. Mora and Busquets colliding. Busquets looks like he's come off the worst for it. But Spurs will be annoyed to be 1-0 down because of Lloris. When is McGregor Khabib Fionn? Is it this weekend? I've heard of it. I even watched bits of the press conference, but I don't watch it. DS42694 comments on the BBC article about the Glaziers backing Mourinho. Not surprised. I have commented on it already. And I'm not surprised. They're clueless. I've said this before. In relation to Manchester United, they've sacked two managers since Sir Alex Ferguson, and both haven't been sacked until the Champions League football is gone. So if you're a Liverpool fan, a City fan, a Chelsea fan, or just a general disliker of Manchester United, you can sit there smug with whatever you've got in your hand today, and hopefully it's a drink, because Mourinho's here for a long time, yeah, and United fans are going to have to suffer. McGregor fight is at about 2 AM on Saturday night, yeah. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. A lot of people are obviously getting a little bit bored with the stream because we've lost about 400 people in the last couple of minutes. So I'll start singing in a minute. That will lose us even more. But make sure you do subscribe. Obviously, this is the first watch along I've done on this channel. And I am going to do Liverpool Man City on Sunday afternoon as well if you're watching that. Mark Goldbridge World. I don't know whether that's the real one. I've heard of this Goldbridge World account. He's doing very well out of me. I'm waiting for my check of royalties. Spurs are trash, says Callum Freezy. When's the first Spurs-Arsenal game? Because I think that's going to... I'll do a watch-along for that if I can. I think that's going to be an interesting game. I'd say Arsenal might have closed the gap a little bit, but I still think Spurs are a better team than Arsenal. Harry Kane shoots from distance. Lovely connection on it. Long way out. Keeper gets behind it. Ter Stegen. Smooth Gaming. There's no timer because it was just a very short decision for me to go live on my channel. I haven't got any graphics set up or anything like that to do watch-alongs on here yet, so that will grow. Gillian Firmino says, I subscale. I subscable. I think he means he subscribed. Do I watch The Apprentice as Dan 11? I use it. Why is it on? Is it back on? my TV, my TV watching is basically Netflix. That's what I do. Everything I watch is on catch up. I never watch telly unless it's football. I never watch anything that's actually scheduled to be live. Bloody hell, I did do that as well. Twat. So we're 26 minutes in. Spurs are going to have to go up a little bit here. I mean, Barcelona have been given an absolute gift by Lloris for people who are joining us a little bit late. Ran into no man's land. Cutback came to Coutinho. There were some Spurs players in the way, and from the edge of the box he found the net with a lovely finish. But Lloris is a fool. He's a fool, man. He's an absolute fool. God knows why he was running out there. It was just no point in doing what he did. And it basically has given the Barcelona a very easy start in the first 2 or 3 minutes. They went 1-0 ahead, didn't they? Still 0-0 between Napoli and Liverpool. Naby Keita has gone off there. In the other games, it's still 0-0 in every single game. This is the only game out of 6 live Champions League games that's got a goal. Bradley Tucker says, favourite character for the in-betweeners? It's got to be Jay, because it reminds me a little... I wasn't totally like that, but the bullshit, I was like that at school. I was the bullshitter, telling stories about things I'd done at the weekend that I actually hadn't done. I was like that at school. But I think, here we go, this should be 2. This should be 2. Good save. Oh, what a goal. What a goal by Rakitic. That's an absolute screamer. Robbie Stone says it as well. They had half a chance. It falls to Rakitic on the bounce on the edge of the box, and he absolutely hammers it home. It is stunning. What a goal by Rakitic. Back of the net. I'm watching this back because these are the sort of goals that when you see them in big games, you feel alive. I'm alive. So it comes back to him on the edge of the box, and he cracks it with his right foot. The technique is perfect. Absolutely gets. Oh, that's beaut. That's beaut. That is in off the post as well, which always makes it better. Louise O'Donoghue says, "Bloody hell, what a goal!" That was a pleasure to see. The way he gets over it, because the ball's quite high, and the way he gets over it, and he's pink boots, and he's wearing pink boots. I'm going to have to tweet about that. People will know. That is amazing. So, 2-0 to Barcelona. It's looking comfortable for Barcelona. And as I said, it's still 0-0. There's nothing Spurs can do about that goal. It's absolutely amazing. It's a pleasure to watch. It's a pleasure to witness. Absolutely brilliant. Technique was amazing, says Sterny Kids. OWNC, why do I ignore your questions? I just see what comes up and I'll read it. I can't read them all. That. Would you swap Pogba for Coutinho? Says Mohammed. No, I wouldn't. Here we go. Suarez is in again. Just wide. Why do Manchester United fans want more and more attacking midfielders? We need more midfielders to move the ball from back to front, which is what Pogba can do. We don't need to lose a player who can do that, our only player who can do that, for another attacker who'd just be starved in our formation. Dylan Jones, why are we seeing everything before you? Well, it's a simple thing called YouTube, where YouTube puts a delay on a live stream. So I'm watching the game at exactly the same time that you are, but I'm not in control as how much of a delay YouTube put between my stream coming to you. So, handball. Spurs did to score, but Trippier did handball it. before he crossed it. Coutinho has played for Liverpool for that reason alone. I don't want him, says Andy Stewart. Yeah, that would be a reason for me, Andy, as well. I've got to be honest with you. I don't... And Liverpool fans are the same. I think at the moment, look, there's a lot of... Any United fan who's got a brain will begrudgingly say that Liverpool and the way that they're playing and the passion that they're showing and the balance to their team are light years ahead from Manchester United. And they would do that. Would I take any Liverpool players at United? No, because the rivalry means too much to me. Would proper Liverpool fans want any United players? No, because the rivalry means too much. So, his Spurs on the bit of a break here with Harry Kane. Mora, it's good play. Oh, what a save. Oh, come on, Spurs. And they nearly got a goal there. Stegen did well, but that's better from Spurs. It was a good save. The overlap was there, I think, to Lamela. He gets it out his feet. The cross comes in, and it could have been an own goal, but he keeps his hand up, and it's good keeping, that is. That is good keeping. What a save, says Errand. Rakitic is quite old, though, Emma. He's on about a swap deal for Pogba. I think he's about 31 now. Would you take Gundogan? Jude says. Oh, no. He needs a sports bra to wear, Gundogan. Does he even get picked for City? Zombie Urus says Barcelona are something else. Absolutely a joy and pleasure to watch, and I never get bored of watching them. Barcelona do, over the years, have bored me. I think this team is a little bit different. They're a little bit more direct. Whereas, and you know, you look at the 2 goals that they've scored. One was from a long ball from Messi. The second goal is a brilliant volley. I like this Barcelona team far better than the ones I saw with Pep, where it was very, you know, they were terrified of putting a cross in the box. They had to score the perfect goal, whereas this team seems to be a little bit more direct. So, you know, I've quite enjoyed watching Barcelona tonight compared to previous years. Joy Deep's been impressed with Koulibaly for Napoli. I like Koulibaly at Napoli. A number of years now, I'm very surprised that he's not been snapped up by a bigger club. But you do sometimes find that with the Italian league, is that players are very loyal to that league. Even though they might not be the best league in the world, they are quite loyal to it. What a run that is by Messi. Suarez is in. Take your time. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you're new, bottom right hand corner. This is where we're going to be doing the watch-alongs for the immediate future. That's Football will be back, but for the moment, just to keep a bit of continuity, I've said I'll do them on my channel. I will be doing Liverpool versus Man City on Sunday afternoon on here, but before that you'll get about 3 or 4 more episodes of my FIFA stream. Jorty's back in the live comments, which is great. And Vignish makes a very good comment. He says, you can take whatever player you want. Nothing changes until Jose's there. Look, yeah, I agree. I think there's probably 5 or 6 players in world football that would still be pretty good in a United team at the moment. But, you know, people talk about Icardi, you can talk about Rakitic, you can talk about Griezmann. I don't think they'd do well in a United team. I don't think they'd do well in a United team. At the moment. Zahib, I don't hate anything about Guardiola. I had my say about Guardiola, and I got absolutely sat down last season because of Mourinho. I thought that, you know, Mourinho would school him because he had the Premier League experience and Pep didn't. And Pep absolutely schooled Mourinho. You're not right in life all the time. And I'm a firm believer that if you get it wrong, you get it wrong. And Pep at City, I think City will win the league this year. That won't please Liverpool fans. Arsenal fans, it's irrelevant. But I think City will win the league this year. And I upset a lot of people because they said, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? I think City are going to win the Champions League. That makes me feel sick. It physically makes me feel sick. But I think that an English club might win the Champions League this year. And to me, there's only 2 clubs that are English that can win it, because this one can't, and United certainly can't. So that's Liverpool or City. And, you know, always, as far as I'm concerned, it would be... I'd rather City win the Champions League than Liverpool. I'd hate it, but I'd rather that. Matthew Dyer says, will there be a timer added for the future? Loving the background as well. Yeah, I mean, this is just the first one. I am going to sort out timers and things like that for this channel. But, yeah. Live Forever or Champagne Supernova? Definitely Live Forever for me, mate. Coutinho, Ericsson or Isco? I'm a big fan of Ericsson, Jack Coleman, who of course is another player that Spurs are missing tonight. What's my favourite milkshake, says Draughty Devil? Oh, I change my mind quite a lot. If I'm at McDonald's, I will have sometimes a strawberry, sometimes banana, sometimes chocolate. So I'd probably go safe bet is strawberry. It's changed over the years. Fat Jock says, I can remember a time when Barcelona weren't a great side, and in fact they were beaten twice by the same Scottish side, Dundee United, in the UEFA Cup, as it was back then. You know what, Fat Jock? I remember very vaguely watching Dundee United play in a UEFA Cup final or a Cup Winners' Cup final, probably around 87, and I think they lost to some Swedish club. That is, I was very young, very young. You'd have to give me the facts. Can't believe we've got somebody saying, can you please show the game? I thought those questions had gone years ago. And Matthew McFadden has just said, Barbara, that will break copyright laws. Jack Coleman says Chinese or Indian. I don't think you can answer that question. Surely it's a mood thing. If you like Chinese food and Indian food, it's a mood thing for me. Sometimes I feel like I want an Indian, sometimes I want a Chinese. Sadiq Hussain says, I've now subscribed to this channel. I'm from the United Stand. I'm a subscriber there as well. We don't have to be. I would like to bring the Formula 1 watch-alongs back, Max Claydon. I would love to do that. But we might be looking at next season for that now, because I think Hamilton's going to win this one, and I need to structure my time better because I want to do more content on here. So, yeah, I would like to bring it back. I liked the little sort of trial that we did of it. Spurs are in trouble here. Suarez is down injured, holding his bottom. Hopefully something hasn't gone up it. But if he's acting like it has, there's nothing near his bottom. Absolutely. Watching the replay, absolutely nothing goes near his arse. It's a normal dive. PS4, at what point made you Mourinho out? I think after the Brighton game and the Spurs game, I was like, I don't think he's going to turn this around, but I'll back him while he's the manager. And then, here we go, Trippier put a cross in. He's got a good cross on him. Yeah, so I think after the Brighton and Spurs loss, I realised he wasn't going to win the title this year, and that's what this year was all about. And I was like, he's not going to turn this around. He'll be gone at some point, but I'll stick with him while he's the manager. So I wouldn't say I was Mourinho out then, but I knew, it wasn't going to work out. I think going up to the Wolves game, watching the Derby game, being played off the park by teams we should be beating at Old Trafford, the West Ham game, which was bad tactics, bad performance, just an embarrassment. It just got to that point where I was like, you know what? It's a scary thing as a fan to start saying your current manager needs to leave the club that you love. It's a big decision to do that. I I did it before with Van Gaal and Moyes. You get to a point. I didn't think I'd ever get to that point with Mourinho, but I think it's a culmination of things with Jose. I like Jose Mourinho. I still like Jose Mourinho. I think as a character in football throughout most of my footballing life, he's been there, and everyone's got to play a part, and he's done the pantomime villain part for years really well and been successful. And I thought he'd be successful at United, but he's been absolute. I think Mourinho's career finished the moment he had that argument with that Eva Canero, the coach at the physio at Chelsea. He's never come back from that, and he's finished. He's finished in high-end football, unless football goes back to being a defensive game again. He's lost. The fire's gone out. I've been saying that for a long time. But his problem at United is he doesn't understand what the club's about. He hasn't got control of the players. His football's crap. He doesn't know what his best team is. He changes the team every week. And he's ridiculously rude and condescending to the club, the players, the fans, and the media. And I think what Paul Scholes said was spot on. I don't understand why he's still the manager, and he's been an absolute embarrassment. So I think when you're faced with all that, you've got to be a very, very naive person to be saying I still back this person who is so anti what this club is all about. And every club's had it really, haven't it? I mean, you think about Liverpool when they had Roy Hodgson. He wasn't there particularly long, and Liverpool fans made their mind up very quickly that he just wasn't right for their club, and he wasn't. I mean, Arsenal haven't had that because they had Wenger for a very long time. City have had managers that they've realised weren't right for them. I don't have a massive problem with it. Carl Jan, I like Pochettino, but I'm not one of them United fans who would take Pochettino. And for me, it's not just about him not winning trophies, because there's only so many trophies you can win every season. But for me, what I have seen, because I watch a lot of football, is that Pochettino, when you look at it tonight, when you look at Pochettino against Juventus last season, they should have beaten Juventus in the Champions League last year. They were brilliant in Turin, and then at Wembley they were okay, and then they had a 20-minute period where the old wily foxes of Juventus got 2 goals and then defended and knocked them out. And I think that's Pochettino's problem. He doesn't seem to be able to be a winner at the big table. He's turned Spurs into a team that never used to get top 4, would flirt around with it and bottle it. He's getting top 4 with them, and he's definitely made them better. Is he a top echelon manager, like a Mourinho, like a Sir Alex, like a Pep? Is he one of those managers? And I don't think he is. I think he's a good manager. I think Spurs might be his ceiling, so I wouldn't take him at United. But I think Barcelona would be interested in Pochettino. And Real Madrid were very nearly interested in him as well. The way La Liga take their managers, they're not so obsessed with them being the right fit for their club. I mean, you look at Real Madrid and Barcelona and their managers over the years. They haven't always gone with like the best available manager like they would with the players. Sometimes they'll go with players the managers that are through their youth setup as well, through their background staff. Sorry. Anyway, we're nearly at half time here. They don't have the same budget as well. I Love Music. I mean, let's be honest with you. Let's be fair to Pochettino as well. This summer he spent no money because they're moving to a new ground that's going to make them a lot of money in the future, but it's cost them a lot of money for now. And Daniel Levy is a very, very, very astute businessman in that sense. But from Pochettino's point of view, I've said this about Spurs already this season. They look to me like a designer jumper that's 2 years too old. It's a very nice jumper, but it's starting to fray. They needed a new one, and they haven't. They're stuck with the same set of players. So I think that the question for me with Spurs this year is, can they get top 4? If they get top 4, I think that, again, that's a good season for them. And Louise O'Donoghue's right. United would never get Pochettino out of Spurs. Certainly not during a season, anyway. And you know what? If Zidane doesn't want the Manchester United job, there are plenty of other people out there. I mean, Laurent Blanc's not got a club at the moment. I remember on the United stand saying back in March, I like Laurent Blanc. I would take him over a Simeone because of his approach to youth and the football that he plays. So that should be about half-time. Jamel says, are you tired, Mark? I am tired. I do get tired at the end of the day anyway. I mean, I've done a United stand stream. I've done my normal work. I've done FIFA. It was a longer stream today that I did FIFA. All my other stuff I do in my life. So pretty much... And last night, I didn't get to bed till about 1:30 because I was doing all the fan cams and stuff. So it can get... You know, it's not all just sitting in front of the camera and... for half an hour, there's a hell of a lot of stuff. Anybody who does this sort of thing will tell you it's very hard work and there's a lot of stuff that goes on to do it. United need a Scottish or British manager, says yeah boy. Yeah boy. Who? There was a time when you couldn't move for decent Scottish managers, but now there aren't any that I would have at United. You know, I know he played for Liverpool and Lampard played for Chelsea, but I hope that Gerrard and Lampard actually do have good managerial careers because it would be nice to get some high-end players. I'm encouraged by what Lampard's done at Derby, and I hope he gets them promoted. I mean, I don't like Derby because I'm a Nottingham boy, so Derby for me wouldn't be a... Well, they're drawing 0-0 at the moment with Norwich, but... Oh, look, everybody. I've literally just tipped on here, so I didn't even know they were playing. Forest are beating Millwall 1-0. Oh, I'm really pleased. Sheffield Wednesday are beating West Brom 2-0. I'd love Sheffield Wednesday to come back up. They were a massive club when I was growing up in the early 90s. They got to 2 cup finals. Arsenal won them both. But Paul Warhurst, Chris Waddle, I like Sheffield Wednesday are too big. Sheffield Wednesday should be in the Premier League. 100%. I'd love to see them getting back. But yeah, I would like to see Derby come up with Lampard because I thought the football they played was really good. They're in 11th place at the moment, Derby, but 1 win and you can be up to 3rd. If they win tonight, Derby could go from 11th to 3rd, which is amazing, isn't it? After 11 games. 11 games played in the Championship, right? And... Oh God, this is amazing, right? So maybe Steve Bruce shouldn't have been sacked when you look at it like this. 11 games have been played in the Championship. So if you'd won them all, you could have 33 points, right? And 7 points separates 1st to 15th. 4 points separates 7th to 1st. And 5 points separates 11th to 1st. So Steve Bruce has been sacked, but he's only 7 points off 1st, and he's only 3 points off 5th. Yes, amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Championship is if you don't know what the Championship is, I'm sure many of you do, but it's a very, 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 very competitive league. That Khabib McGregor fight's on just on BT. It's not, you haven't even got to pay for it. Reaper says, who's your ideal manager? And this isn't just relevant to Manchester United. Who is your ideal manager? I mean, my ideal manager is somebody who's passionate, who wears their heart on the sleeve, who respects what Manchester United is, who doesn't put themselves ahead of Manchester United, but is driven and focused and passionate enough to grasp what Manchester United is and embody what Manchester United is. I want them to play good football. I want them to be at ease and integrated with the fans. I want them to be educated and expressive in how they convey themselves to the media. And I want them to be positive. And most of all, I don't want them to be coming out. As much as it's great because we can all talk about it, I don't want, and we never had it with Sir Alex, I don't want a manager coming out slagging off his own players. I don't. On no level is that ever a good thing. How can it ever be a good thing? It's bloody ridiculous. So no, yeah. So I want a manager who plays good football, is passionate, and understands what Manchester United's all about. That's what I want. But I'd say any club would want that with their manager. Mark Willis says you've just described Jurgen Klopp. Well, I want a winner. I want a winner. But don't we all? When will Manchester United next win a Champions League or Premier League, says Daniel Campbell? Mate, I've got no idea. I've got no idea. At the moment, you know, we're just living game to game, aren't we? So I've got no idea. I can't say we're going to win the title in the next 2 years, because the reality is they've got to get rid of Mourinho first. And then one thing about United, just very quickly, is if you look at the board, not only are they not very knowledgeable about football, they've appointed 3 managers after Sir Alex Ferguson who are defensive-minded coaches for a club that's not defensive-minded. So, you know, who's to say that they get rid of Mourinho and they don't bring in Simeone or another defensive coach? You just do not know what they're going to do. So I could never say what we're going to do. What's the Bristol City score, says Walrus Productions. From what I saw, it was 0-0. Yeah, Rotherham 0-0. You're away to Rotherham and it's 0-0 and the second half has just kicked off. So there you go. I'll tell you what I'm into at the moment on Netflix. Someone was saying what you're watching on Netflix at the moment. I'm watching Peep Show, which is a comedy, which I'd always been aware of and thought I will hate. I watched episode 1. It gave me a headache because of the filming angles. I'm now used to it and I'm up to season 4. Very easy to watch. I mean, it's nowhere near some of the great comedies that I've watched, but it's very watchable. I think I'll whiz through that and then I'll go back to a drama. I just finished Ozark. Well, I've just done season 2. I've tried Power and I'm like, I need to properly watch it. I've not got into that yet, but I think I'm going to do El Chapo next or something like that. We need the change at the top for United to be back to glory days, says Dinesh. And if a new manager were to come in, what signings would you like to see, says Daniel Campbell. I mean, I don't want to turn it into a Manchester United show, although I am a Manchester United fan. But if I was Manchester United manager what would I like to see United do? I think, actually, this might be very controversial, but I would like to see a new manager come in and just use the squad that we've got for 6 months and make his mind up. That's why I'd like someone to come in now, because, yeah, they could do something in January if they wanted to, but I wouldn't do anything wholesale. I'd wait till the summer. But as I said at lunchtime, I think that United team, with the right manager, comes in and goes, oh yeah, I've got De Gea, the best goalkeeper in the world. Oh look, I've got 2 fullbacks in Dalot and Shaw who can bomb up and down. I can work with them. Centre-backs, yeah, I probably do need a centre-back, but I can work with what I've got for the moment with Bailly and Smalling and Lindelof and Rojo. Midfield, definitely can work with that. I'm not going to use Fellaini and Matic ever again, but I've got Herrera, Pereira, Fred, Pogba. I can work with those 4, definitely. And then the players up front, well, okay, Lukaku, long-term, I'd be looking at someone better, but with some build-up playability. But you've got Lukaku, Rashford, Martial, Sanchez, Lingard, Mata. So I just like to see... I think for United, it's just about getting the right man in post as the manager at the moment. I mean, long term, I think they are 3 or 4 players short of being a title-winning side or a Champions League challenging side. But I still think that team should be comfortably getting top 4 and maybe pushing for a Premier League title push. They're not going to do it now, but they could do. But Mourinho's problem is that, yeah, I can pick a decent 11 with United, but Mourinho can't. You constantly will put someone like McTominay in the team or Matic and Fellaini in the team, and that's Mourinho's problem. The Office is the best ever, says Martin. It's very, very good. Prison Break. I used to watch it years ago. I never watched it after the back. Lukaku is terrible, says KB 10,000. Look, I'm not going to get into slagging Lukaku off. I've said before that his second touch is a tackle, and you know, we all know the jokes, and that is all true. But the reality is, Mourinho bought him, and Mourinho plays him every week. So, you know, of course you can be critical of Lukaku, but he is what he is, and he is what he's always been. To be fair, these finishes from Barcelona, although there was a big mistake by Lloris, I thought the finish by Coutinho was very, very good. But that Rakitic shot, Oh, be Jesus. It's absolutely superb. He gets over the ball. He's in the air as he connects. It goes in off the post. It's absolutely stunning. Oh, it deserves a clap. Deserves a clap. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The Bodyguard was good, Craig. I've watched it. Oliver Coote. The only problem with The Only Fools and Horses on Netflix is it hasn't got all the episodes. I think it's just got all the specials, hasn't it? I've done Breaking Bad, Mr. Anonymous. I'd like to see Leeds come back into the Premier League because they're a big club. But as a United fan, dirty Leeds, obviously they'd be a big rival. But I like all that. I like to be tested. You know, the great thing is if you add Leeds into the Premier League and you get rid of Huddersfield or you get rid of Cardiff or you get rid of Burnley, then a game that we should be winning suddenly becomes another challenge, and I like that. You know, you might have a weekend. You know, at the moment the big games are always City, Chelsea, Liverpool, Arsenal, Spurs. Leeds come up, you got another big game in the calendar, which is great. You know, Better Call Saul. I'm going to do that, Michael Hubbard. I will do that. I haven't done Spartacus. Is that on Netflix? Is it? So there's a lot of sex on that. I've heard of Banshee, Viking Red. I think Mason Greenwood will be a fantastic player at Manchester United, Louise, but I also think Chong Gomez will, but they won't be under Mourinho. You need a manager that's going to use that youth talent that we've got. Dinesh is enjoying the show, says it's fun and informative. That's what my content is. Without blowing my own trumpet, that's what my content is. It's, you know, I love football and I love having the chats about football, but seamlessly we can bring in other stuff as well, especially on my channel. So the next watch along I'll do will be Liverpool Man City on Sunday afternoon, which is 4 o'clock, but I'm still going to have my FIFA stuff going up every day. Shooter I need to revisit. I don't know what my life was before Netflix in relation to TV. I suppose I probably watch less film now than I used to. But yeah, it's good. It's good. Stranger Things, I've done it. Brilliant. I'd recommend it. Very good. I don't know when the next season's coming out, but it's very, very good. Right. Viking Red plays FIFA and watches my shows. I know a lot of people do that. I'm looking forward to playing some FIFA a lot. A lot of people say this to me, can I play you online? Can I play you online? It's not because I'm an ignorant person, because that's definitely not me. I will give Power another go, Coco Jordan. I will play a lot of people online, and I'll probably do it live. So, you know, I don't mind doing that. But all I'm doing at the moment is just getting through my career mode and getting, hopefully, better at FIFA. You know what? I would have been playing online from day one, because if people, you know, I'm fully aware that these meltdowns that I have, people find are funny. It's not great for my health to do it, but that's just the way, like when I'm watching football, when I'm playing football, when I'm playing FIFA, that's just what I'm like. I am pretty immature. But if I played people online, I'd melt down 10 times worse than I do when I'm playing career mode, because I get more competitive when I'm online and I get more pissed off knowing that I'm being beaten by another human being. So the online games would be far more entertaining. So the only reason I'm not doing them is because I just want to get a little bit better first, and I will do them. Pro clubs really does interest me. I just don't know how to set it up. I'm very lazy at that sort of thing. Oh, wrestling on the PS4. You know, 10 years ago, I'd get that when I knew all the characters. Sweet Chin Music. Sure, Michaels. I don't know what my PS tag is, Tip the Toker. I will let people know on the stream tomorrow, because I'd have to be logged on to know it. Somebody might know it if Mad Marcus is on there. Abdi Syed says opinions on Wilney. Well, he said hello to me on Twitter, didn't he? I don't know whether it was sarcasm or not, but I actually quite like his content, so I was quite happy to reply to him. I don't have problems with anybody. Tyron Williams says that Pro Evo is better than FIFA. I haven't played it, but you're not the first to say that. David Green says Lukaku or Stormzy. You know, when you said that, you know what came into my mind? That newspaper that put a picture up as Stormzy when Lukaku signed. I mean, I'm sure they didn't do it on purpose, but, you know, just ridiculous. I bet someone got sacked for that, quite rightly. I won't be playing FIFA after the stream, mate. I'll be getting straight in the hot bath with a Radox because I can feel a cold coming on. I might even put an Instagram picture up of me in the bath because I need to start putting... There we go. You can be my focus group for a moment. I have got an Instagram account. I forgot what it's called. But I don't really know what to put up there because I don't really get out and about that. I do get out and about that lot, but it's not like my life is, oh, today I'm at Sky Sports with Jim White. Tomorrow I'm at BT with Jake. You know, my life's not like that. And I don't want to put up my picture of my dinner every day because it's pretty much the same. Baked beans with a packet of crisps on top. So, you know, I'm trying to think of what stuff I can put up. Because the United Stand Instagram is the place where we put up United news. 1-1 with Atletico and Bruges. 0-0 with Dortmund and Monaco. 0-0 Porto Galatasaray. PSV 1-1 with Inter Milan. And Napoli Liverpool 0. Lokomotiv 0. Schalke 1. So they're just showing some of the goals at the moment. PSV goal was good. If it didn't catch a deflection, it was good. And... yeah, there's a few goals going in from outside the box tonight. I think it's 9-goaling, isn't it? Yeah, for Inter. Messi's been a little bit quiet. Not bad quiet, but he's all right. Viking Red says, Mark, all this Jose crap is killing you. He needs to speak to the United Stand. No, I'm all right, mate. To save his job. I can't. Yeah, I'd speak to Jose Mourinho. I'm sure many Manchester United fans would speak to Jose Mourinho. And if he honestly asked me, how do I save my job? I think I'd have to give him an honest answer and say, I don't think you can. I think it's abundantly clear that a lot of the players don't like you. Your playing style doesn't suit this football club. Youth, you shouldn't be using at the moment anyway because you need to win games, but you've not used it properly in the 3 years you've been here. You've burnt too many bridges, mate. You cannot turn this around. I can't think of a manager, nothing to do with Manchester United, whoever you support, Cheltenham, Bristol, Liverpool, whoever you support in there, if you can name me a manager that in year 3 has presided over about a year of slating his own players, poor football, numerous embarrassing results, Huddersfield, Newcastle, West Brom at home, Sevilla in the Champions League, the FA Cup final, and then this season, and has turned it, you know, has lost a large proportion of the fans, begged somebody that nobody the fans wanted in Fellaini to stay at the club. He's done so much wrong. I can't think of a manager in history who's done so much wrong and then turned it around. I can't. I think when it goes wrong, and this is where the Manchester United board and Ed Woodward are inept, because if they knew football and they had a history in football, I don't even mean as a manager, as a football fan, because most football fans are very knowledgeable because they've got years and years of experience. They would know as owners that there is no example of a manager turning it around when it's gone this bad. But they are not football people, so they think, yeah, there are. Got a 2-2v2 here, Messi up against them. This could be a great goal. Oh, he hits the post. That would have been world class from Messi. Picks it up, runs at them, picks his spot, hits the post. He's a very good player, isn't he? A finesse finish it was as well. What a player. So yeah, I mean, that's my final word on it with Mourinho, is that even if you phone me up tonight, I'd say, look, mate, there's no way back. It's just a case of when you get the sack now. And the board, like Paul Scholes said, should have done it. I can't think of a manager in history that's ever turned it around. And I'm looking at the live comments there, and nobody's putting anyone up. Can I do a Big Bang Theory watch along, please? I've never watched the Big Bang Theory. Joyce Dale, I agree with you. Lukaku's not bad. He's just not a top 6 striker. I think, at Everton he was very good. I think Lukaku is one of the best number 9s in world football, but he's not in the top 5. He's in the top 10, and there isn't that many brilliant top 9s anyway, so it wouldn't surprise people to put Lukaku there. But I think at the very top end, you've got to have more to your game than putting the ball in the back of the net, and he hasn't got any. He's got no finesse, has he? He hasn't got any build-up play. That goal would have been brilliant by Messi. It really would. What are you looking at? Says Icardi's way better. I've been a massive fan of Icardi for years. I love Icardi. I mean, effort doesn't necessarily make you a great player, but the effort levels of Icardi are great. Alexis Sanchez effort levels are good, but he's been shit, hasn't he? But he's a very, very good player. He's a very good player, Icardi, and I think he'd be perfect for United. He's not as physical and as fast as Lukaku, but he's got a lot more to his game. I couldn't do Love Island streams, Jack, because I've never watched the programme. Here we go. This should be 3-0. Oh, no, Lloris did get off his line that quick time. Messi was coming through. I'd like Spurs to get a goal just to make it a little bit interesting, but it's looking like 3rd goal for Barcelona, more likely. Cash-ins watching from South Africa. My next FIFA stream will be tomorrow at probably 1:30 again, maybe 1 o'clock, but I do them around on my lunch break. It just depends when I'm doing a United stand. I normally do United stand at 1 o'clock, but not every day. Like on a Tuesday, it's Flex and Rants goes up, so. Thierry Henry for Villa job. Saw somebody on about it there. It whizzed by, sorry. I don't know who it was, but yeah. I know he was nearly going there in the summer. Spurs with a corner. Still 0-0 in the Liverpool game. Into the box for Son. Nothing given. I thought it might have been a penalty there. Erin's right. Good strikers create chances on their own. I don't think Lukaku can do that. Adam Leahy, no, it's not his real name. And the post again. They've hit the post again. Barcelona there. They're still on the attack. They really are knocking the door for the 3rd goal. Messi's loving this. What a ball. Lloris is there, but they hit the post again. How's Messi not scored? Here's Harry Kane though. Can he get a shot away here? He wants to get onto his right foot. Does well. Lovely goal by Harry Kane. Come on. That's how you do it. And Barcelona will be very, very, very irritated because they've hit the post twice with Messi in the last 5 minutes. Harry Kane goes up the other end. Very, very astute. Nice finish. Cuts back onto his right-hand side. And lovely finish by Harry Kane. So we've got, well, I don't know whether we collectively wanted it, but I certainly wanted a goal to go in. And happy with that. I think Harry Kane's one of the best strikers in the world. Yes, I personally think Harry Kane could have gone to Real Madrid this summer. I was surprised he signed the new contract. I think he will go at some point. The thing that Harry Kane's got that Lukaku hasn't got is the ability to make a goal out of nothing and build up play, and that's the big thing. I've never played Fortnite in my life, Liam. I've heard a lot about it. I haven't got the hours to put in. Michael Hubbard, is your dinner really beans and crisps? I have had it. I have one or two odd, shall we say, culinary delights that I've always quite liked. Beans on toast is something that I've always had over the years. I don't have it every day. I just have it every now and again. But I've sort of developed a beans and toast thing over the last year or so, where I'll cook the toast. Instead of using butter, I use peanut butter. Then I put the beans on top, and then I open a packet of crisps and sprinkle them over the top. And then I put a bit of mayonnaise on the side to dip the crisps into the beans and that. I'm probably making some people feel quite sick. Ben Johnson says that we're undecided whether this is Ben Johnson, the Canadian drugs treat from the 1986 Olympics. But he says that it's undeserved and Barcelona should be out of sight. Well, I don't disagree with you, Ben. I disagree with you on your drug cheating in 1986. But Barcelona did hit the post twice with Messi at 2-0. And then Spurs went up the other end and made it 2-1. And that's, points win prizes. You got to take your chances. There we go. Banana and crisp sandwich. Oh, that does make me feel a bit sick, Viking Red. Friday the 13th game, says Derek McMahon. Never heard of it. But if Mad Marcus is in there, I'm sure he has. Do a cooking video, says Reaper. I might do a cooking video just for a laugh one day. Brian says, who celebrates a rival scoring? Well, I'm 100% not a Spurs fan, which everybody will know. And look, I don't need to justify myself to anybody. I live my own life, and I'll always do that because it's not actually possible to live somebody else's, which would be great if you could. But I like football. Who when they're playing FIFA gets into playing FIFA like I do? I like football. If I'm going to give up 90 minutes of my life to watch football, I don't just sit there. And that's 3-1, and that is Messi, and that is the justice that Ben Johnson wanted. It's been a long time coming for Messi. He's hit the post twice already in the first 10 minutes of this half. And there was the cutback, and he wasn't going to miss that. I mean, who's marking the best player in the world there, I would say. But that should put it out of sight. He deserves a goal. He deserves a goal. But it's not. I wouldn't say it's over yet. Chaz says, come on, you Spurs. I was watching the goal back. Messi sort of starts it. He finds the ball out to the right. But someone's got to go with Messi there. It's lazy from Wanyama. Really lazy from Wanyama. He doesn't track the run at all. Yeah, it's Wanyama's fault. Really lazy. But he deserves the goal. Yeah, but going back to what I was saying there is that I remember used to get taken because my granddad managed his own football team on a Saturday, and I used to go along with him when I was like 5 and 6, and I didn't know who was managing or who they were playing, so I would just pick a team and get really interested in it. I would pretend that one team was depending on the colours of the kit. So if it was white against blue, I'd pretend one team was Spurs and one team was Everton. And then the numbers of the shirts, even though it might be a fat bloke at number 2, I'd pretend that was Gary Stevens for Everton. So I've always had a very big imagination when it comes to football, and I do get into it. And if I've picked a side like tonight, I would love Spurs to win because it'd be good for the Premier League. So yeah, I'll celebrate if they score. Not bothered. But I'm not going to cry if Barcelona win either because, you know, to be fair, Messi's was a tap-in, but the first 2 goals I thought were very, very good. It doesn't matter to me if Spurs lose, but I'd like them to win. On Sunday, it's a different matter. I will not be celebrating if Man City or Liverpool score because it's different dynamics for different games, isn't it? I've always found Spurs to be quite an inoffensive team. And if I was a Spurs fan, listening to me say that, I'd be quite offended by that because I think if you're an inoffensive team, that means you're not a threat. What you're looking at says that this is the best game for Messi in a while now. He's been good. I think it's true. I think Messi sometimes doesn't turn up in games, especially in England, but he's been good tonight. But I've always said this about Messi and Ronaldo. I always preferred Ronaldo to Messi, but I think what's happening now is, especially with Ronaldo going to Juventus, the Ronaldo versus Messi war is over, isn't it? Because they're not in the same league. So, and also Messi's younger than Ronaldo. So Messi, for the next 2 or 3 years, should have the mantle as the best player in the world to himself. I also think that Messi's decline in age won't be so big because is Messi blisteringly fast and physical? No. I remember Peter Beardsley playing in the Premier League at 38. Ryan Giggs playing in the Premier League at 40. And I think Messi's skill level and ability to skip past players won't necessarily die because of his loss of his advancing years. I think Messi could play at the top level for another 8 years as a sort of number 10. Because a lot of if you watch Messi, a lot of Messi's game is walking around anyway, picking up positions and then explosions of flair. But there's an opportunity there for Messi, for, like I say, for the next 2, 3, maybe 4 years to really just grab that mantle as best player in the world and have it to himself. Because I think Ronaldo naturally will decline. I still think Ronaldo will be a very good player, but I don't know whether he'll be able to keep up with the standards he's had over the last 10. I think it's unrealistic to expect anybody to do that. But as I say, Messi's a bit younger. Another chance there. Suarez, saved by him at Lloris. SK says Messi could play till he's 40. The score at the moment, Fofi Sheriff, is 3-1 to Barcelona. Spurs 2-0 at half-time. Messi hit the post twice. Harry Kane scored a good goal to make it 2-1. And then Messi scored a tap-in to make it 3-1. It's about right, isn't it? It's, you know, you don't often get that in football, but it is about right. Let's have a roundup of the scores. I quite like it when there's loads of other games going on, actually. So it's still 0-0 with Napoli and Liverpool. I'm glad I didn't do that game, actually. This game's been much better, and I'm glad I stuck to my guns. Inter Milan are winning 2-1 against PSV. They were 1-0 down. Atletico Madrid are still 1-1 with Club Brugge at home, which is quite interesting. Porto are still beating Galatasaray. Dortmund are beating Monaco 1-0. Jadon Sancho with another assist. He's doing fantastic things, you know. I think he needs to get called up for England. Very exciting. Man City, youth player. I mean, why did they let him go? Right, let's have a look at the Championship. I know we've got Bristol fans. 0-0 still for Bristol and Rotherham. Sheffield Wednesday still 2-0 up against West Brom. Nottingham Forest still 1-0 up against Millwall. Derby are actually losing at home to Norwich now, 1-0. And Blackburn are losing at home to Sheffield United. So there you go. Championship and Champions League. I've seen the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Jack. Liverpool will win, says Brian Condo. Yeah, I thought Liverpool would win tonight. Napoli must be doing far better than I thought they would. Mustaf says, this game is over, Mark. Please do Napoli versus Liverpool. No, I'm not like that. You've got to finish the job. Sir Drake makes a good point. If Gomez or Chong went to Dortmund, like they could have progressed like Sancho, but their growth's been stunted by Jose. Jason McDermott says that Liverpool haven't actually had a shot on target in 60 minutes. I don't think this game's necessarily over. Excuse me. I think if Spurs could get another goal, make it quite interesting. Napoli are all over Liverpool anyway, says Mexi Mad. Big, massive game that is. That's a massive game on Sunday, Liverpool versus Man City, for so many reasons, because it will really set the tone for who's going to win the Premier League, because I think it will be one of those two teams, unless Chelsea can keep it up. If Liverpool were to win that, they'd really start to think, well, maybe we can win the league. If City win it, will that dent Liverpool? But on top of that, the subplot as well is that Klopp schooled Pep massively. I mean, City had a brilliant season last year winning the Premier League, but don't you dare think that Pep Guardiola walked out of that season disappointed because he got kicked out of the Champions League by a team in the Premier League that they'd beaten in the Premier League by nearly 30 points. So it's a massive, massive game, not only because they're the two top teams in England at the moment, but because of the fact that Pep will not want that to happen again. But Klopp seems to have got the measure of Pep. So in a footballing sense, it's going to be very, very interesting. And I'll be doing a watch-along on this channel for that. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, bottom right-hand corner, get involved. Watch-alongs are going to be on here for the foreseeable future. But obviously, I've got my FIFA stuff on here as well every day. And you can follow me on Twitter at Mark Goldbridge. Aaron Cleesby says Liverpool are getting battered. Well, again, if they can get a win out of it, they'll be very, very pleased then, will they? It's a tough week, you know. It's a tough week for Liverpool, though. Away to Chelsea on Saturday evening. To Napoli on Wednesday night. Harry Kane's done well there. And then City on Sunday. It's tough, isn't it? It's a big test, and if they can get... They were very happy with the Chelsea draw. If they can get something else. Two for Spurs. Lamella. There you go. Told you. Makes it interesting, doesn't it? Makes it very interesting. I don't know whether it deflects in off Longley. But they're back in with a shout. There you go. I could do with some water. 3-2. 3-2, you sir. Harry Kane finds him. Yeah, it's a deflection that takes it past the keeper. It hits Longley on the chest. And it takes it away from the keeper. I think he easily saves it otherwise. So 3-2. Bit fortunate for Spurs, but they'll take that. Gary Barlow. I'm going to start saying that on my FIFA streams when I score now. I'm going to go, Gary Barlow, take that. But 3-2, this was definitely the game to pick. Still 24 minutes to go. Spurs will have a go. You fancy another goal in it as well. Goldbridge picks the right game. I was a bit undecided. Do I do Liverpool or Liverpool Napoli or Spurs Barcelona? And I thought you've got to go with the bigger two teams. I'm not saying Spurs are bigger than Liverpool, but Barcelona are. And I thought, you know, let's have it, and it's right. What's Lloris doing here? Good tackle, but I just think Lloris is just a nightmare, isn't he? He's a nightmare. He's running out of his box again. He's running past his centre-backs to make a tackle, and it goes wrong. He shouldn't come for this one. Alderweireld could have had it, and Messi nearly makes it 4. He's a calamity keeper, that, isn't he? Imagine United against this team. They'd get absolutely pummeled. Well, they wouldn't. They probably wouldn't. We'd just park the bus and play very deep. I mean, Spurs have actually tried to play football. What was that from Sissoko? Rubbish. When are Spurs stopping playing at Wembley anyway? It'd be nice for them to have their new ground. That finish by Sissoko. What the fuck, says Jack Coleman. I was thinking exactly the same. But Barcelona, obviously very, very dangerous on the break. Here is Suarez. I think Suarez's game has dropped off over the last couple of years. As much as I dislike him, I think there was a time when he was at Liverpool and the first time he came to Barcelona that, you know, his first year or so at Barcelona where he was one of the best in the world for his position. But I think seeing him in the World Cup and last season at Barcelona and then seeing him again tonight, there's definitely something missing in Suarez's game now. Oh, what a nice comment that is from BBC Burko. He says, Mark, you are genuinely the best human being out there, honestly. Well, we've all got our faults, but thanks for the nice comment. I think, you know, you're not bad either, all of you collectively, even though I've never met most of you. But we've got a nice little community going on, haven't we? And I think, you know, make peace, not hate. Banter's great. I love banter. I love having a laugh, but I don't like bullying banter. A lot of love coming in for Busquets from C_. Yeah, Suarez has declined, says Pep Effect. Mertens has come on for Napoli. Maybe can get a winner. It's Barcelona going for that killer goal again now, though. Barcelona do play in spurts, don't they? And they're I mean, look at here. They're pushing again, looking to find a way through. And there's quite a few players in this Barcelona team that have moved recently that were linked to Manchester United. Semedo, the right back. Longley, the centre back. Did Yerry Mina go to Everton? He did, didn't he? I haven't noticed what I haven't noticed what Yerry Mina actually did. Whether he's actually done any good for Everton. Anybody know? I'm just glad United didn't get him. Crossing the Channel just said that United were in for him. Yeah, I don't think much. I mean, Yerry Mina only actually went to Barcelona last January. Yes, he scored a few goals in the World Cup, but I don't think he's all that. Barely played, says Pratic. There you go. Jack Coleman says, great show tonight. Well, it's great to have so many people getting involved with it. It was just a bit of a trial to do it on my channel because obviously I've mainly been doing FIFA on here, so it's great to be able to be live with you all for a couple of hours. And, you know, it's not all been about football, is it? It's just good to be able to interact and have a chat. He's been injured. A lot of people saying he's been injured. Don't know whether they're Everton fans or just big football fans. I love my football. I've always loved my football all my life. All my life I've loved football. I love it. But I think the older you get, your knowledge definitely drops. I mean, I remember being at secondary school. We used to have when I went to GCSEs, we had you could do media studies instead of languages. I was like straight on that. I thought media studies was going to be like watching EastEnders or something. It wasn't. But it was actually a really crap class. But I used to sit on this table with a couple of lads who liked football as well, and we'd spend the whole hour lesson just challenging each other at questions. And my knowledge of football was so good then, I'd be able to name the whole bloody squad of Everton. Any team. Used to have your pro set cards and everything. So I imagine it's the same nowadays, isn't it? Especially with games like FIFA. You probably know. One thing I didn't know, which you lot will know, is European football, because you didn't know anything about European football when I was growing up. The Champions League was only just starting, really, and you certainly didn't have such an interaction with football outside of your league. Like, we're spoiled. We can watch Serie A, we can watch La Liga. I mean, I always think, growing up, I had players like Vialli, Mancini playing for Italy, but they'd probably be the only two players I'd ever heard of. I wouldn't know who the rest of the team was, because you'd never know it, unless the World Cup was coming along, and even then it was only 5 or 6 games. That's why after Italia 90, when they started showing Serie A on Channel 4, it was brilliant. There's a bad injury here. Harry Kane's had a yellow card, and PK, is it PK he's caught? Yeah. Andy Stewart says, football means everything to me. It's such a passionate game and it brings fans together. Well, I don't think it matters who you support. It does matter who you support, because if you don't support the team I want, then that's not nice. But it doesn't matter who you support. The feelings are the same, aren't they? It's the passion. It's the drama. And will we get another goal here? Napoli nearly just scored, says Jack. Daniel Burnett, have you seen the videos people make on you? I'm aware of them. I think unless somebody puts something up that's like, derogatory or lies, I can't be asked to start saying why you're using my content. I mean, I could have them all taken down, I suppose, because it's not they're longer than 30 seconds, aren't they? So, but I'm not bothered about that. I don't really care about that. Like I say, as long as somebody's not saying something that I haven't said or something like that, I ain't bothered. Life's too short. I suppose take it as a compliment, really. Do you play FIFA on Xbox or PS4? I've never had an Xbox. I've always been a PS boy. Can you still name the old Everton squad that you could name in school? Says Matty McKenna. Oh, God, no. No. I guarantee Neville Southall was in goal, because he was in goal forever. And I'd be tempted to say Andy Hinchcliffe, Gary Ablett, Dave Watson. I'm trying to think of another centre-back. I don't know whether Unsworth would have been there at that time. Barry Horn, people like that, but no. So, Spurs have got about 15, maybe 20 minutes to get back into this game. Be a massive point to get back in if they could. You'd wonder what's going to happen to Spurs in the new camp, but having said that, they'll have better players back, won't they? And if it runs the way it's running for United, we don't actually play Valencia until the last group game. So, of course, Spurs lost in Inter. Oh, Mora should have been in there. Semedo's messing around with it. Good going forward, not so good going back. Yeah, so Spurs lost their first game to Milan. They were 1-0 up with 10 minutes to go and lost it 2-1. So Spurs are going to have to... Well, it's going to be interesting, isn't it, for Spurs? They're going to have to beat PSV both games. They're going to have to beat Inter at home to have any chance, really, because going to the new camp and winning is going to be tough. But Spurs had a tough group last year. Spurs could be in the bloody Europa League, couldn't they, with Arsenal? Matty McKenna. Yeah, I've seen pictures of Neville Southall. I don't think he was the most trim goalkeeper when he played, really. He was definitely very scruffy. It was in the day, yeah. Well, he was a goalkeeper when you could carry a few stone, couldn't you? What a tackle that was by Winks. He's played very well. Harry Kane's got himself offside. What a waste. Was I an Everton fan? No. They've just come up a couple of times in the conversation. Massive chance for Napoli, just crossing the channel off the line by the keeper. Thanks for the updates, pal. They're going to bring Llorente on. Be interesting to see who they're going to bring him on for, because maybe it's for Lamella. Game over, says Rory Neal. Llorente to score two, says Manan. Thanks, Jared. United could end up in the Europa League, yeah. I think there's more chance of United ending the Europa League than there was before the game last night. I mean, you've got to win your home games, haven't you? I think Valencia can get better, and you'd hope that United can get better, but home advantage, they were better on the ball than us. So I think United, if you think about it, Valencia, I think United, the best that United can hope for is a draw, judging us at the moment. You'd expect Valencia to beat Young Boys home and away. We will beat Young Boys home and away, so that cancels it out. Juventus, we'd have to get something out of Juventus, considering Juventus beat Valencia at Valencia. We need to get something at Old Trafford against Juventus, and that might be the thing that does it. But yeah, United didn't show anywhere near enough attacking intent for a home game in the Champions League last night. Nowhere near. But I think Spurs, this group will be quite tight as well, because I think Spurs could beat Inter Milan at Wembley. Shot by Mora from outside the box. I think Spurs, with the players back, can beat Inter Milan. I think they can beat PSV. And then it comes down to, I think realistically, it could come down to like goal difference, something stupid like that. Because I think Barcelona will beat Inter home and away as well. So, yeah. How many points will we get from Juve, says Joshua Jenkinson. You might be surprised. I will keep saying this. The Premier League is quicker than Serie A. Unfortunately, United normally are the bottom of the league for distance covered and speed, so actually it might equal itself out. But I do think there is an advantage there. But having said that, Juventus have got a very, very good team. And United haven't. But I've just got a funny feeling United might get something against Juventus. A thrashing. Castro says the situation at Manchester United is sad and depressing. Well, the latest is that there's no indication that the club are going to sack Mourinho, which I've said all along. I can't see them sacking him until it's mathematically impossible to get the Champions League. But I think the sheer weight of frustration from the fans at the moment might just, you know, it's sad to see. It's 3-2 to Barcelona at the moment. We've got about 10 minutes left. I wouldn't begrudge Spurs getting a point here, but it would be a very good point if they got it. I think Barcelona have certainly had the better chances, and they could have had, you know, maybe 4. They're going to make another substitution here, Barcelona. Coutinho goes off, Rafinha comes on. Is Spurs on the attack? Harry Kane into the box. Ooh. No, that's over. Overcooked to the cross there. Gone out for a goal kick. Sebastian Melham says, why did we sell Piqué in 2008 to Barcelona? Well, it's a very easy answer, mate, because we had Vidic and Ferdinand who were better. And they were in their prime. There was no place for Piqué in the team. That's why he left. I think, you know, we can always say that we had Piqué at United and look at him now, but we couldn't find a place in the team for him because we had prime Vidic and Ferdinand, who, to be honest, prime Vidic and Ferdinand are better than Piqué's ever been. It would have been nice if Piqué had been a... What a run by Mora. Oh, he nearly scored a cracker. It's gone for a corner. Skills. I tell you what, if Napoli did get a winner against Liverpool, it would make it quite interesting in that group with PSG in it. But if Liverpool get a point in Napoli, I think that will probably put them through because they'll beat Napoli at Anfield. They've already beaten PSG at Anfield. So if they can hang on for a point there, I think they'll be okay. If Napoli get the win, that might just cause a bit of twitching for Liverpool. Six-yard out off the bar from Mertens, says Nathan. Another corner for Spurs here. 5 minutes to go, so tense in both games. Matthew Hardy, I haven't played Ultimate Team yet. I'm going to give it a go probably next week in the international break. I'm just going to get through my first season of career mode first. Here comes a cross. Oh, he's into the arms of the keeper. You know these people who play Ultimate Team, just quickly on FIFA 19, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. When you play an Ultimate Team, do you predominantly play online or do you play against the computer? What gives you the most satisfaction when you're playing it? The Irish Gamer says, will you pay money to see a United game this season? I paid money to see United play Wolves last couple of weeks ago. I don't mind paying money to watch United. I enjoy watching United. So, but I don't. That's not the right term, is it? Nobody enjoys watching United at the moment. But I'm happy to pay money to go when I am going to go and see them. I don't know what my next game's going to be. Vidal's coming on. I never get to see Vidal anymore. I can't remember the last time I watched Vidal play a game of football. I think for Bayern Munich he got injured, didn't he, back in March. Artur comes off and Vidal comes on with his Mohican. Man United Herbert's been asking this all night. He's boring the shit out of me with this. He keeps saying, who is a better passer, Messi or Scholes? Scholes. Scholes got a better passing range than Messi, 100%. Messi's probably better than most other things than Scholes, but passing, you'd say Messi. Sorry, Scholes. I remember that summer I thought Vidal was coming to United as well. God. Some of the players we've missed out on in the last 10 years. Oliver, I think Man City are going to win the Champions League this year. I don't want them to, but they are my prediction. And I got it right the last 3 years. I mean, it's not hard to say Real Madrid. I think this year it's... I mean, to be honest, I have been impressed with Barcelona tonight. I mean, it's no surprise to say Barcelona are one of the favourites. But what I like about this Barcelona team, and it's interesting because some Barcelona fans don't like it, I think they're far more easier on the eye playing like this because there's an element of directness to them. Whereas traditionally over the last decade I find Barcelona very boring to watch because it's so tiki-taka, whereas this style of football that they play is a little bit more direct. Prince Fresh thinks Juve. I'd love Juve to win it. I mean, like I say, Juve would be my second team after United, and they have been for many years. I'd love Juventus to win it because I don't think United can win it. So I'd love Juventus to win it, but I'd be surprised. Here we go. Messi, 4-2. I don't know what Spurs were doing defensively there. I think Sissoko is crap. That's basically it. Sissoko tries to spin his man, and it basically leaves Spurs ridiculously exposed. And Messi ends up running towards the goal from the penalty spot. Easy. Easy. So that'll be it. 4-2. Good win for Barcelona. Horrible defence is what you're looking. Good play, Suarez. It's happened again. It's happened again, says Durrani. Tottenham are finished. There's a pass into Sissoko here and he's just too weak. I think it's Alba who gets ahead of him. Step over by Suarez and Messi just has a tap in. But that's Sissoko's fault. He's twice the size of Jordi Alba and tries to roll him and that just leaves them totally exposed. Does him with the eyes, Messi, but no one's getting him in there from there. What did Suarez do? Oh, class from a classless man. Yeah, I see what you mean. No, I think I've been impressed with Barcelona tonight. I like the style of football that they've played tonight compared to this. Like I say, I find the tiki-taka stuff, even though it was very successful, very, very boring to watch. They just seem far more interesting to watch. But I don't think they're superhuman or anything like that. I think they can be got at. Back-to-back defeats for Spurs in the Champions League, yeah. I mean, it's a very hard start to the Champions League for them. Away to Inter, home to Barcelona. You'd expect Spurs. I think Spurs can beat Inter at home. I think they can beat PSV home and away, so that would give them 9 points. And then they've got to go to the new camp and try and get something. But 9 points, could it be enough? Considering Inter Milan are on 6 already. But then Inter Milan, if they lose to Spurs, they beat PSV, that's 9. And then if they get something from Barcelona, it's tough. But Spurs have got a lot of injuries tonight as well. And Napoli have scored late on as well. Late goal for Napoli. And Millwall have got a late equaliser against Forest because Millwall FC 1885 has just said so. You see, you can tell by my reaction, I couldn't give a shit. And but Napoli have scored. Lots of people happy there. Dyer's just got a yellow card for a foul on Suarez. Well worth it. Sometimes it's worth it. Well, it sounds... I mean, I haven't watched the Napoli-Liverpool game, have I? But it sounds to me like Napoli have deserved it. And I never would have predicted that. I really expected Liverpool to win. So, yeah. Interesting. And there we go. That's it. It's finished there. And there we go. Barcelona win 4-2. So, I will be back tomorrow night. No, I won't. I won't be back tomorrow night. I'll be back at 1 o'clock tomorrow with FIFA live stream on my channel. So, look forward to that. It will be good fun. And Napoli have won 1-0 as well. So, cat amongst the pigeons in that group, certainly. I think Napoli... did they beat Red Star as well? So that would put them top of their group. So, interesting. Let's see how that goes. And not a great start for Spurs, but there's some legs left in this game. And Barcelona were very impressive tonight. So, thanks everyone for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. And I'll see you on the FIFA stream tomorrow at about 1:30 probably, because I've got to do United stand at 1 o'clock. So, thanks everyone. Really enjoyed the chat for a couple of hours. Hope you did as well. I will be doing a watch-along on Thursday for Liverpool versus Man City as well. So, see you all soon. Boom.